Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be a quick one. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make any sample a lo-fi sample. Lo-fi, short for low fidelity, is defined by Wikipedia as a music or production quality in which elements usually regarded as imperfections of a recording or performance are audible, sometimes as a deliberate aesthetic choice. So basically, we just need to make the sample sound like shit. Alternatively, if your music already sounds like trash in terms of quality, you're good to go. You can just pass it off as an aesthetic choice. Joking aside, I actually like the lo-fi style, and that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to be showing you how to take a sample that is in any style at all and making it lo-fi. I'm going to be using Splice to find samples just so that I have a couple of different examples so I can show you the methods that I use to make a sample sound lo-fi. And side note, if you want to just download lo-fi samples straight from Splice and skip the rest of this video, I wouldn't even blame you. If you sign up using my link in the description below, we both get a free month and several free samples of our choosing. Anyway, these are the two samples I found.
Summer rain 濡れても暖かい
And our goal here is to pretty much just fuck them up as much as possible while still allowing them to retain their melody. And like I said, I'm gonna use a different lo-fi method. I don't know how to say that, but you know, I'm gonna make each one lo-fi using a different method. So as you can see by the sample titles, my vocal isn't in the same key as my melody. This is a tactical choice I made. A lot of lo-fi music features vocal samples that are pitched up or down, and I'm not a huge fan of the vocal just straight up being one octave higher or lower, so that's why I went somewhere in between so that I can kind of meet it halfway and it's not just straight up pitched up or pitched down an entire octave. You might even notice by the titles that they are in different BPMs. This was also tactical. Stretching them to fit together will only help our case in making it sound like shit. I mean, a deliberate aesthetic choice. So we're gonna load the vocal in first. I'm loading it in at 140 BPM because the sample says it's 140 BPM. And it's just way easier to make sure it sticks to the tempo we want if we do it this way. See how it lines up perfectly? Beautiful. Anyway, judging by the way the sample looks, I have a feeling that FL's not gonna know what tempo this sample's actually in. So we're gonna fit it to the tempo right now, and then we're gonna stretch it back. But let's fit it to the tempo real quick. Yep, see, it has no idea that it's 140 BPM sample. So I'm gonna stretch this back down so that it retains that 140 BPM. It's not stretched or anything currently. Now we can drop the BPM down to what we want it to be. And now you'll see that it's gonna ask if we wanna stretch the sample to fit. We do.
Summer rain
Now let's shrink it because it's a little too slow. Now we're gonna throw our melody sample in and fit it to the tempo. Obviously they're not in the same key right now, so they're not gonna sound good together.
Summer rain 濡れても
This is not an aesthetic choice. You want them to be in the same key, trust me. And I want the overall song, or I guess just the section, it's not gonna be a full song, I want it to be an A. So I'm gonna drop the sample in C by 300 cents and the sample in D by 500 cents. And just a tip, every 100 cents is a key. So if you open up Piano Roll, you can count how many cents you need to drop or raise it. Anyway, for the melody, let's use the first method of lo-fiing. Anyway, let's use that first method. It's a free plugin called Isotope Vinyl. It's super dope, actually. I'll put the link in the description below so you can go download it. It's an awesome plugin, especially if you're into making lo-fi music. As you can see, there are several sliders and knobs you can change. Personally, I like switching the year from anywhere between 1930 to 1960, depending on the sound I'm going for. The rest of these settings are totally up to you. This is what I'm personally using. The only thing I really don't care for is the scratch feature. It hurts my ears. Also, a lot of these settings degraded the audio and lowered the volume, so I'm raising the output gain just a little bit so that it boosts the volume coming out. Now, to be 100% honest, it would be so much easier if we just use this plugin on the sample as well, but that's not what we're doing in this tutorial. I want to show you a manual method of doing this just in case you don't want to download a VST. The first thing we want to do for the manual method is shrink the clip down, and you can do this as much as you want, but the more you shrink it, the more it's going to degrade the audio, which is the preferred outcome in lo-fi music. Next, I'm going to consolidate this track by right-clicking on the actual track in the timeline, going to consolidate this track and from track start. Basically, this is just resampling it. This is now the source audio we're going to be using, so that anything we do further is just going to degrade the sound a little more. So we want to fit it back up to the tempo, then stretch it back to what it was before we shrunk it down. Now you can hear the difference between the original and the new track.
Summer rain, 누랬대 뭐. Summer rain, 누랬대 뭐.
And you can do this as many times as you want to like really fuck the sound up. And like I said, the more you shrink it, the more it's gonna fuck the sound up. Now this last part's more of a personal choice. I'm gonna throw an EQ on it and cut the lows and highs out. For contrast, before I add drums and a bass to it, I just wanna show a before and after of each of these samples.
Summer rain 누랬대 뭐.
Summer rain, 누랬대 뭐. 따뜻하게.
Now we just slap the drums and the bass on it, and you've got yourself a lo-fi hip-hop beat to study to, or chill to, relax to, whatever. Obviously, there's a lot more that can go into making a lo-fi beat than just this. There's tons of plugins, tons of different sounds. This is just a very basic way of taking a sample and lo-fiing it. I'm not even gonna try to make other words up. I'm just gonna call it lo-fiing at this point. I'll probably end up doing like a lo-fi beat walkthrough tutorial type thing sometime in the future, so definitely stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, anything like that, or just want to support the channel, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment on your thoughts if you liked it, you didn't like it, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime I upload another tutorial like this. Anyway, thank you for watching. And if you're still here and you want more, check out my tutorial on making a Lil Peep type beat. Or if you'd like a new song to listen to, give my brand new single Drugs a listen.